Well, the old console really needed an update. It was basically just preamps and EQs. It was a great console, but it was built only in the traditional standpoint of signal going to the buses to go out to some sort of recorder, which is really not the way that people record any longer. This console, besides having the mic pre and EQ, has a compressor on every channel, and it has a function which it can either operate traditionally with the signal going to the buses or with what we call one-button recording, which takes mic pre, compressor, EQ, insert send, insert return, and sends it directly to your recorder. And then the recorder comes back on the large faders, which then goes to the routing modules. So you get your stereo mix there, you get your aux sends for Q or headphones or whatever, and you also get the 8 buses, which then are generally normal to personal Q. So it makes it very flexible and fast for modern recording. If you're trying to produce any quantity of music or number of musicians at the same time, it's much more efficient than having, this preamp here and this one there and going halfway around the toms and having the tone change. And it's much more efficient. Plus you have all your central facilities, your monitoring, your cue, your returns, your echo sends, everything is right in front of you. You don't have any of that audio schizophrenia, which drives me nuts. Now I make this example. The studio we're in here is a guy named Curtis Matthewson in Newport, producer, engineer. And he has had consoles and not had consoles. And before this console was in here, he was kind of using a lot of different gear. The stuff sitting at my feet, they're 1081s and 500 racks, and there's a lot of great gear in here. And then when he put the console in, I think he's found that he's using mostly just the console. He's not using the outboard gear because it's so much faster, so much easier. You got great mic pre, compressor, and EQ at your fingertips. It's kind of like, why bother? It's so much faster. And in my experience of recording in commercial studios where you have 30 musicians who walk in the door at 10 o'clock and they're gone by 11, and you have to have 6 minutes of music finished, then there's no other way to do it but on a console. It's just so much more efficient. Well, it has a much more complete input channel. First of all, you got a great mic pre that has a Jensen input transformer. It's a 3 transistor Class A circuit, very simple, running on high voltage rails, followed by a high pass filter, which goes from 10 hertz to 200 hertz, 12 dB per octave, which is really great for pulling out, UPS trucks rolling by your studio, which your digital recorder would happily record down to 10 hertz. Then we have a very simple but comprehensive compressor that has fast and slow attack. It has a fast and auto release. It has 4-to-1 compression and 16-to-1 limiting. Very effective, very simple to use. Followed by a 4-band EQ with 5 frequencies per band, all tuned filters. The mid bands are inductor based, high and lows are shelving. And there's also a low pass filter at 20 kilohertz, which is 6 dB per octave. So I don't think anybody really offers that in any console, in any individual channel strip. It's very musical. It's not clinical. There's a lot of equipment around that people claim is transparent. I have no interest in making equipment that is transparent. I just want stuff that when it goes in, it comes out sounding better. Now, a lot of these modern consoles, they seem to have a sort of ceiling where the top end seems to disappear around 20 kilohertz, a little over 20 kilohertz. This is very wide bandwidth. It sounds like it's very open on the top end. And that, for some reason, I think interfaces much better with digital, because it seems to make digital equipment sound better than it actually is. It seems to make it more spacious, if that makes any sense. And it's very fast and easy to use. So I think that has a lot. I think when the performance goes well and everything sounds good and it goes quickly, I think that has a lot to do with making performances and sound better.